discussing the evolution of monotremes to illustrate how their unique features and behaviours expand our understanding of their evolutionary history and their taxonomic classification.
On the 5th of November, our group was able to visit the Oxford Museum of Natural History to view our chosen taxon for our assignment. This allowed us to view the species in its physical form and link into how it would have adapted and evolved over the years. It gave us guidance to see how they look and what qualities and characteristics they possess. The museum also provided facts behind the species to give us insight on how the species behaved. This made us feel confident to start our research and provide the facts we needed for the assignment.
Monotremes display high levels of parental care exhibited through protecting eggs, nurturing offspring through milk secreted through their skin, and providing prolonged care. For example, platypus infants are nursed for around 4 months until they develop the ability to swim. In addition to monotremes' behavioral features, most monotremes are nocturnal, which allows them to avoid predators and regulate their body temperature by instinctively avoiding the hottest parts of the day. Furthermore, monotremes are solitary foragers, each hunting in unique ways. For example, platypus search underwater for insects and small aquatic creatures, while echidnas use long claws and sticky tongues to extract ants from logs, showing the plethora of ways monotremes have evolved and adapted to suit their habitats and diets. Some monotremes show changes in activity levels based on season. As it gets colder, echidnas may go into a state of hibernation to conserve energy whilst there's less prey.
Both monotremes and placental mammals have higher metabolic rates than other animals, though monotremes' metabolism isn't as high as other mammals, as monotremes do not possess brown adipose tissue which helps regulate their body temperature, whereas there is a myriad of features that monotremes do not share with placental mammals. For example, mammalian phylogeny is usually studied via teeth analysis. However, monotremes are toothless, indicating that teeth are not an ancestral trait within this group. Instead, amniote features are studied to reveal their evolutionary history, which suggests that monotremes split from other mammals around 200 million years ago. And the most key notable difference between monotremes and mammals is that monotremes lay eggs, suggesting that they are only distantly related, and that their most recent common ancestor was also an egg layer due to this distinct morphological difference.
The taxonomic classification of monotremes is wholly straightforward when it comes to their kingdom and phylum. The kingdom they belong to is Animalia, as they are both multicellular and heterotrophic, traits that all animals possess. Traits which generally describe members of Animalia, although there are exceptions, include having bodies made of diploid cells organised into specialised tissues and organs, being capable of rapid and complex movement, and reproducing sexually. The phylum monotremes belong to is Chordata, and they are classed as such because they possess all of the 5 distinctive synapomorphies at some stage of their development: pharyngeal slits, an endostyle, a dorsal nerve cord, a postanal tail, and a notochord, which in monotremes is only present during the early embryonic stages, before being replaced by the vertebral column, making them vertebrates. The correct classification is less clear when it comes to the proper class. Monotremes are endothermic, possess hair, and produce milk. As such, they are classed under Mammalia. However, they also lay eggs, lactate, and possess a cloaca, all traits usually associated with birds or reptiles. Lastly, Monotremata itself is an order. Within the order Monotremata, there are 2 families. The first, Ornithorhynchidae, has only one extant genus, Ornithorhynchus, or the platypus. The second, Tachyglossidae, has 2 extant genera, Tachyglossus, the short-beaked echidna, and Saglossus, the long-beaked echidnas. Platypus and echidnas are both oviparous and largely solitary, with hair and a cloaca. They differ where platypus are amphibious, adapting to this lifestyle with webbed forefeet and hair that is flat and streamlined. Echidnas, on the other hand, are exclusively terrestrial and possess spines made of keratin. The phylogenetic tree shown here displays Monotremata as it exists today, but there are also several extinct genera, the largest of which, Myroglossus, a species of long-beaked echidna, weighed about 30 kilograms and was roughly 1 meter tall, approximately the same size as a sheep. When exactly the split between Monotremata and other mammals took place is still unclear. While older theories suggest this divergence occurred during the Jurassic period, between 163 and 186 million years ago, more recent theories place it earlier on, somewhere during the late Triassic period up to 217.7 million years ago. The Theria hypothesis suggests that monotremes diverged from therian animals before marsupials and placentals diverged from each other. This explains why monotremes retain certain primitive traits like egg-laying. However, the marsupionta hypothesis suggested a later divergence of monotremes and marsupials based on shared tooth replacement patterns. Most current evidence favours the Theria hypothesis.
During the evolution research of the monotremes, evidence states that the platypus and echidna originate from Queensland, Australia and New Guinea. Zooming out, there is emphasis that monotremes highly evolved from the main mammalian stem a very long time ago and within the Cretaceous period, but they were widely distributed, not just stemming from Australia. This links into the supercontinent, which is also known as Gondwana. Gondwana was known as a supercontinent containing the southern continents. This includes South America, Africa, India, Madagascar, Australia, and Antarctica. The statement of the monotremes being widely distributed was confirmed due to paleontologists discovering a fossil belonging to the ancient relative of the platypus, known as Monotrematum. The fossil was discovered in Argentina, making the Monotrematum a South American descendant. Due to Africa and South America rejoining with the northern continents, Antarctica moved southward and monotremes were able to stay within Australia and neighbouring islands. Australia is known as being the country dominated by marsupials, so how did monotremes survive the marsupials? Marsupials are species that are typically known for having pouches to carry their young rather than possessing a true placenta. Research suggests that for the platypus to survive, they mainly adapted and evolved in aquatic life, consisting of characteristics including the electroreceptive bill, a venomous sting, and their egg-laying nature. This means that marsupials predating on monotremes could not enter the water due to carrying young in their pouches, therefore making the platypus untouchable. Linking back to the adaptations and evolution of the platypus being semi-aquatic, research shows that there was an earlier river slave platypus that did live alongside marsupials on land. The main difference from the Obdorodon to the modern-day platypus is their teeth. This suggests that this species fed close to the surface rather than in water, including larger prey of fish and frogs.